sights, and by the time I look up again, he's holding a pair of rib shears which resemble heavy pliers. With breastbone as epicenter, he defines a circle of ribs like a clock face and crunches through them methodically, his knuckles white from the effort. By the time he's done, his face is dewy. Then he puts the bone cutters down and uses a big chisel to prise the sternum up and away from the chest. This makes a ripe plasticky noise, like cling film being ripped from a cardboard roll. In spite of myself, I turn my face away from the sudden, gamey smell as the organs are revealed. And by the time I look up again, the pathologist is holding a ladle and plastic measuring jug with notches on its side, like a cook making stock. He reaches into the chest alongside a lung. I peer in and see the gutter there, red and shiny with pleural fluid, which he carefully ladles into the jug from one side and then another. After hoiking out both lungs, he begins on the intestine. The surface of the body may be cold as marble, but the viscera retain the supple vibe of life, the gut winding out in loops and endless ribbon-like lengths, thin as fingers, juicy as a mouthful of new gum. With the small bowel in a slippery pile, he begins to winkle the podgy colon out with his hands, burrowing all the way down to the rectum, which he soon produces in his fist. The whole mass is collected in a bowl to prevent it sliding, unruly now that it isn't contained inside the body. Grabbing a bladeless scalpel handle and moving to the top of the table, the pathologist puts the blunt end through the first incision that he made at the woman's throat. He works the metal handle up and under, releasing the skin from the structures of the face, and then creates a gap between the curved bow of the jawbone and its muscles. Last, he reaches for the tongue. The corpse's lips fall open, and his gloved hand reappears in her mouth. So this is what the gauntlets are for, to keep the wrists dry. The pathologist strives to free the tongue, and his hand soon exits at the base of her neck, bearing its heavy meat in his grip. Using the knife to free the larynx and pharynx, he pulls the mass high above the body. The column of windpipe and esophagus and aorta rise too, until he finally lets the whole rope flop back against her abdomen. The technician appears again, with an oscillating saw that resembles a pizza cutter with an electric lead. She combs the corpse's hair into a parting from ear to ear, sweeping some forward over the face and the rest backwards, the way men used to with Brill cream. With the PM40, she carves into this parting, before using both hands to pull the scalp forwards and over the face so that the cut rim of hair sits on the chin as would a beard. The saw roars as she presses it to the skull, and a white cloud of bone dust settles in the hair like dandruff. A second cut is made at right angles where the string of a pair of glasses might sit. With a small chisel, the tech prizes a segment of skull from the head like a quarter of orange. Underneath is brain, not pulsing as I'm used to seeing it, but very much fresh. I lean in closer, notice the gyral undulations, the tiny cortical vessels. On the other side of the room, the pathologist is deep in thought. He studies the organs he's arranged along the marble counter, prods them, lifts bits to the light. His boss is due any minute, and she will expect a logical medical analysis, one which culminates in cause of death. The body lies a few feet away, discarded. On the one hand, it's nothing more than a shell, cavernous and rib-slatted as a clinker boat. But it's also the most compelling thing in this room. This was a woman, unmistakable for anyone else. In my mind's eye, I rearrange the corpse's features. Her breasts aren't in the right position anymore, but I appreciate their fullness and imagine whom they might have fed. I look at her fingers, picture them moving, and wonder what domestic, professional, or loving purposes they served. Hands, feet, face, and genitals make a person of her, and by studying them, I start to paint her back into herself.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.